lead you in fresh directions, you will act and think as your neighbors do. To be sure, some people are rebels, and they can add to a society's stock of information. For them, deviance is far more appealing than conformity. They want to be deviants. But if your world is limited, your horizons will be limited as well. There will be limits to what you can see and imagine. Now suppose that wherever you live, you spend much of your time online. In some ways, the entire world is at your disposal. If you do a search for the world's religions, you can learn a great deal in an extraordinarily short time. If you do a search for climate change hoax, you can discover diverse views. And if you are willing to spend an hour or two on the topic, you can obtain at least a rough understanding of what scientists think. If you search for genetically modified food health risks, you can find studies of multiple kinds and various reports, some of them highly technical. Sorting out what is reliable may not be easy. There are countless falsehoods out there. But here is the point. If you are inclined to conform, you will have to do a fair bit of work before you decide what, or whom, you will conform to. In most ways, that is an immense step forward for the human species. Our potential horizons are far broader than they ever were, and they are getting broader all the time. At the same time, human beings appear to be tribal. Wherever we live, a small village or New York, Copenhagen, Jerusalem, Paris, Rome, Beijing, or Moscow, we develop allegiances. Once we do that, we follow informational signals from some people rather than others. We want the approval of those we love, admire, like, and trust. For that reason, conformity pressures will remain, even if there are a lot of tribes out there, and even if we have some freedom to choose among them. I once asked a new friend why we liked each other so much. Her answer came back immediately. Same tribe. As I write, the world seems to be witnessing a rebirth of tribalism. In the United States, Europe, and South America, people seem to be sorting themselves into identifiable tribes, defined in terms of politics, religion, race, and ethnicity. Appearances can be misleading, of course, and to know whether there really is any such rebirth, we would need some careful analysis. But there is no question that for numerous people, the Internet in general, and social media in particular, are giving rise to new opportunities for conformity pressures. Begin with informational signals. On your Facebook page or your Twitter feed, you might receive all sorts of material from people that you like or trust. They might tell you something about a nation's leader, crime, Russia, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the European Union, a new product, how to raise children, or a new political movement. Anything at all. What they say might be credible because they say it. Turn now to your concern for your reputation and social standing. If those in your online community think a certain way, you might be disinclined to disagree with them, or inclined to agree with them. Of course, much will depend on the thinness or the thickness of your connections with them. Perhaps you don't much care about what they think of you. But many people do care, which means they will be inclined to conform. No simple evaluation of conformity would make the slightest sense. On the one hand, it helps to make civilization possible. On the other hand, it enables horrors and destroys creativity. My emphasis here is on the dynamics of conformity, on what it does and how it does it. The overall evaluation is, I hope, appreciative of nuance. If the discussion turns out to be most spirited when invoking